Hello, welcome to our third episode of Conversations with Alex. I'm your host, Alex Hilton. I am a member of the beach volleyball team here at Florida State. And we have a very special guest with us today, whose name, if you don't know by now, you should probably get to learning. She can introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Devyn Flaherty, and I'm a sophomore here on the Florida State softball team.
Perfect. We are so excited to have Dev here with us today. I am so excited to have you here with us today. I wanted to start by talking about, we just recently celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day, which is just an exciting day for all of us, like college athletes, but also just female athletes all over. I wanted to ask you how long you've been involved in sports.
Yeah, I've been involved in sports since I can remember, like 4 or 5. I mean, we played t-ball and soccer, and we played with the boys, and we grew up playing softball and all of it, and I think it's really just created a foundation for who I am today.
Yeah, would you say that playing a bunch of different sports growing up has made you a better softball player?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And what would be your one piece of advice for young people who are involved in sports, young girls, but just young people in general?
I think just keep following your dreams. I mean, you work hard and you want to accomplish something. Don't let anyone tell you no just because either you're a young girl or you're too little or you're too this or you're too that. You know, no one can tell you that, and if you just keep working hard, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to.
I love it. Okay, so season opener is when?
It is Thursday. This coming up Thursday, so February 11th.
Okay. And talk me through having never participated in a full college season. What are your kind of anticipations? Are you nervous at all going into another season opener?
Yeah. I don't know if I would say nervous. Definitely a lot more confident this year just as an individual, and more excited. We're just very excited. I'm sure your team has similar feelings. It's been so long since we were able to play, and it was kind of taken away from us in a blink of an eye. So more than anything, we've kind of just taken this outlook of, don't take anything for granted. You don't know when you're going to get to play. You have to put your best foot forward and just know that this could be your last, but we're just really, really excited.
For sure. I think last night when we went and watched women's tennis play UF, and just being out there and watching our peers doing something that we all know we've been working so hard for this, and just being out there again and feeling that energy was honestly I was on a high. I was this is so fun. I'm so excited. We're also excited to come support you guys. How has COVID affected your off season and your preseason up until this point for your whole team?
It really made our preseason look a lot different. Our off season, we actually really prided ourselves in staying in touch, and we created boat crews and we had Zooms a lot, and our coaches did an amazing job on keeping us connected and talking to different people. We got to talk to Lauren Chamberlain, and she's a big softball name, and it was just really awesome. And then we rolled right into preseason, and it wasn't normal because it was always Florida State against Florida State, so it was really a hard adjustment from what everyone was used to. But I think it made us better, and it's going to continue to make us better. And now it's very exciting for us to be Florida State against someone else. And that's really what the preseason was like, and what we look forward to the most.
Absolutely. We definitely feel that too.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of garnet and gold, and honestly garnet, gold, black, white. It's been a lot of inter squad stuff. But moving into just COVID in general, how did the lockdown period affect you over the summer? What kinds of things? What did you do with your quiet time?
Yeah, it was, it was very hard at first, but I think I took a liking into baking, and my family, we all cooked a lot. We're family friends, and you probably saw my dad's farm, and he just couldn't stop posting about it. So we did a lot of that, and of course, there was some hard conversations to be had with the movements going on in the world today and everything happening, and we had a few of those, and it was a little bit of everything. I feel like I also played softball in the summer with the summer league, so it was a lot of sometimes we were locked down, sometimes we were able to do stuff, so it kind of depended on the time.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about how hard it is as an athlete to kind of like hone in on the other parts of your identity. And I feel like this time was definitely, it seems like in having conversations with other athletes, it seems like this time was like a way for all of us to get involved in other things, whether like it kind of forced us to.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about any kinds of like social justice movements that I know that you were involved in over the summer.
Yeah, so kind of when the whole Black Lives Matter movement started, my family and I, we just wanted to be there to listen, to educate ourselves, and so I took it on myself to really involve myself in the movements that we had in Sarasota. And I think I went to about 3 or 4 marches, and then I think on top of that, one of the other things that were, it was difficult to have, but even just conversations with your family about it, and kind of the privilege that we grew up with, and the privilege that might not even be known until the movement started, and you start having conversations about it, and having conversations with even close friends, and really just diving into that, because it was so important to me at the time to really be an ally, to educate myself, to try and make this world a better place for the people to come. It was very powerful, to say the least.
I definitely think when you say like talking to family and close friends, if anything, it's been a time of a lot of like self-discovery for sure, just because that's what being an ally I think is mostly about.
100%.
Is like looking at the thoughts we've been conditioned to actually believe and kind of like unlearning those things. I think this has definitely been like a huge time for me as well. Is your team tackling any of those issues?
Yeah, we've had conversations starting in November with our coaches, and we kind of just brought it to the table to see if there was anything that we wanted to do to involve ourselves in. And it's kind of hard right now because of COVID, so you can't really get as involved in the community as you'd like. That's definitely a main focus point of ours, but we also want to do something as a team, and we had conversations with Ashton a lot over the fall, and then we kind of continued them over the break, and we actually just had a team meeting the other day about it. And we're still not completely sure what we're going to do. It's looking like probably a moment of silence before or after the anthem, that we would really like to, just take a moment of silence and acknowledge the racial injustices, the social injustices, the police brutality, what we want to stand for. And our team was, completely on board with that, and everyone, we want to be a united front because we love each other and we're sisters, and we understand that we're going to have differences, but in the end we are Florida State softball, and we do love each other, and we want what's best for everyone. So that's kind of the conversation we're having right now, and hopefully continuing to have.
For sure. Definitely. Continuing to have those conversations is, I think, what's most important at this point in time. I think also just like highlighting what you said, like we're all a family. As FSU Athletics, we're all a family, and we have to think of ways to communicate these messages without telling people that they're wrong. Just kind of like appealing to something that I think everyone wants is just unity. That's like the biggest FS Unified mission as well. Okay, talk to me a little bit more about any other like hobbies, any books that you're reading, any shows you're watching, just anything that you want people to know about you.
Kind of lacking in the reading department, definitely. Can definitely step up on that. But I think just educating yourself on everything, like reading different articles, reading different news, like all of that. And then we actually watched a show called This Is Us, and it really incorporates a lot of like what's going on in the world today. And I think that's really cool. The show literally makes me cry every single episode. My boyfriend makes fun of me for it, but you know, we actually also watched a movie, and I think it was with Michael B. Jordan. It was like Just Mercy or something, and it was about how there were black men imprisoned for stuff they didn't do, and it just like it made me bawl my eyes out. It was so hard to watch, but I think those are the important watches because it really makes you realize like your privilege and kind of why we need to educate ourselves and why it's so important to take these stances and, you know, sometimes fight for those who can't. It was such a hard watch, but I very much recommend it.
For sure. I know, so something that our viewers may not know, we've known each other for forever. We went to the same Discovery Days. We went to the same preschool. No, elementary school. We went to the same high school. We've known each other for a really long time.
A lot of vacations together.
And I think when like everything over the summer was going on, we would just like reach out to each other and just be like, hey, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, like these are definitely the conversations that I'm most comfortable having with you, I think, because we can always learn so much from each other.
100%.
And I've always just, I think, looked up to you as someone who is not afraid to have those conversations and to learn. And, you know, you don't, like, always think that you're right, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we should be promoting as like a more of a normal conversation right now, is just it's okay to be wrong, especially when we're having these kinds of conversations. So I really appreciate you being here, taking the time. My last question for you is, what does unconquered mean to you?
Well, before I actually answer that question, I wanted to say back to you, actually, like the conversations that we have are so important to me because you have gotten so many chances to travel and experience different cultures. And I think that's like, you know, I'm so jealous, but it's also so amazing. Like, I'm sure you learn so much and I don't know. And so to be able to talk to you about, you know, the different cultures you've experienced and how I know you really like when you go on these amazing trips, you really embed yourself in like learning about it. And it's like so amazing, and to hear about them, to even just watch you do it, like I look up to you for that, and it's, you know, very amazing. And so I just want to say that before I answer that question. But unconquered means to me, it kind of just means that, you know, we are here to, you know, stand up for what we believe in and be the best version of ourselves. And I like to think, like, as a whole, that's what Florida State athletics does to their athletes. Like, they aren't only growing the athlete, but they're growing the person to be unconquered in everything we do after sports. Like, yes, we are unconquered when we're here, but then everything that comes after, you know, our jobs, our families, that's how we kind of take an outlook on life, and that's what makes us as a family for Florida State athletics so special, and even just Florida State in general. You know, we know the biggest aspect of Florida State from our families, so yeah, I think that's what it means to me.
100%. And best of luck on an unconquered season.
You as well.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Of course.